Welcome to the Private Practice Startup Podcast, where we help mental health professionals grow their dream practices and live a life they love. We chat with successful private practitioners, business coaches, and marketing experts, bringing you tons of practice building tips. We invite you to take advantage of our private practice paperwork and our signature marketing e-course. And we have a gift for you. This is the exact methodology we use to create our six-figure private pay practices and have helped many other therapists do the same. Go to privatepracticestartup.com and on the homepage, click the button to download a free copy of your dream private practice playbook. Now on to today's episode.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Private Practice Startup Podcast. You know, Kate and I have been taking on some podcasts together with each other. And I've been really enjoying the podcast that we've been talking about because they're really answering a lot of the questions that you have. So today we're going to be talking about how to raise your fee in private practice. And it's a perfect time that we're releasing this because many of you decide to raise your fee right around the new year. So as you go into the new year and if you've been thinking about this, we hope that this podcast sheds some light on this topic and really how to go about that. We hope you joined us last time as we got the pleasure to speak with Brandy Mabra on how to build your ride or die dream team. So whether you're in group practice or really building an amazing team and outsourcing work, it is hard to find amazing people. And this podcast really sheds the light on how to do that and how to have an amazing team support you and what you're up to. So before we get started today, let's just take a quick moment for our sponsor.
Is managing your practice stressing you out? Try Therapy Notes. It makes billing, notes, scheduling, and telehealth a whole lot easier. Check it out, and you will quickly see why it's rated the highest EHR on Trustpilot with over 1,000 verified customer reviews and an average customer rating of 4.9 or 5 stars. You'll notice the difference from the first day you sign up for the trial. They offer live phone support 7 days a week. So when you have questions, you can quickly reach someone who can help. You are never wasting time looking for answers. If you're coming from another EHR, they make the transition really easy. Therapy Notes will import your client's demographic data free of charge during your trial so you can get going right away. Use the promo code PPS to get your first 2 months for free or try out Therapy Notes for free, no strings attached, including their very reliable telehealth platform. Make 2021 the best year yet with Therapy Notes.
All right, let's dive into how to raise your fee in private practice. So I know that we're launching this right around the end of the year, getting ready for the new year. But, you know, many times people think about raising their fee in January, but the reality is you can raise it whenever. You don't have to wait till January or the summer to raise your fee. So we're going to kind of be diving in and exploring some mindset stuff, some ethics, and some kind of procedural ways to go about doing this. Kate, where do you want to start?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think this is a topic that a lot of clinicians feel uncomfortable with. They don't quite know how to navigate it. Sometimes they feel obligated to continue having the same fees that they started their clients with. And I know even when it comes to raising their fee for new clients coming in the door, it's something that it creates a lot of discomfort. It creates a lot of questions. It creates mindset issues that pop up and blocks for people and difficulties with setting and maintaining boundaries, and then ethical questions as well, or dilemmas about whether to offer sliding scales or exceptions for certain types of populations that they work with or passions that they have. So it just creates a lot of questions for people. And if you have navigated this in the past, and it's something that you've stepped outside of your comfort zone to do, kudos to you, because that shows that you're really valuing yourself and you're looking at your practice and what your fee needs to be so that you can be taking care of yourself. You can be, not only paying for your expenses in private practice as a business owner, but also supporting your lifestyle and being able to live the life that you desire. So when looking at your fees and determining what your fees are in the first place, there's a lot of work that goes into that. And we've done a lot of podcasts about that in the past. So we will include the links for some of the money mindset and fee setting podcasts that we've talked about. And this is really about raising your fee. So whatever the reason is as to why you're wanting to raise your fee, it can be a lot of different things. It could be that you've gotten additional extensive training and specialization in a new skill set, or maybe you're offering new and different types of out of the box packages or concierge services, or maybe you have just had more experience and years of seeing clients and building your confidence and your skill set and your expertise. So there's a lot of different reasons, or maybe it's even that your expenses have gone up, your rent has gone up, inflation is happening. And I know down here in South Florida in particular, the market is outrageously on fire, and that impacts people's mortgages, their rent, their all sorts of expenses are increased. And so that can be a reason to look at raising your fees as well. So there could be numerous reasons as to why you're raising your fee. So we want to kind of have a little bit of a two-part conversation here in terms of how to navigate that with new clients who are just coming in the door, and then how to navigate that with current clients that you're currently seeing. I mean, I would say that with new clients, they don't know that you're raising your fee. So that's more of a one-sided thing. You know that you're raising your fee. And I don't know about you all, but anytime I raised my fee in private practice, and we hear this from a lot of therapists that we work with as well, is that it makes them uncomfortable because you're stepping outside your comfort zone. And it's kind of like, okay, this is new and different. How are people going to perceive it? I'm going to put my fee out there and just stop talking, say it with confidence. And then, it's interesting as you do that and people don't balk at it or don't have a reaction to it. And it's like, oh, okay, I did it. I raised my fee. I put it out there. They're willing to pay it. And that all seems, much smoother because it's a one-sided experience. So if you are currently seeing clients on your caseload and want to continue working with them, but also need to raise your fee or want to raise your fee, that's a little bit of a different dynamic to navigate. So Katie, where do you want to start with that?
Well, as you're talking, I'm just kind of thinking about the times that I've raised my fees, right? So sometimes you might make a decision to raise only new client fees and not current client, right? And I want to challenge that because you have to have an honest conversation with yourself. Are you doing that because it is a difficult conversation? Now, I know every time I raise my fees, and I would raise them across the board, I had that uncomfortable feeling in my stomach, right? And I remember, and I do an addendum. So I like everything. So it's crystal clear. Like there's no questions. This is the new fee. This is when it's going to be raised by. I talk about it. We have a conversation. They sign off on it. I give them a copy if they'd like. Right. And for me, it's always the first conversation. It's not the second or the third or the fourth, because I know once I have the first, I have to have all the other conversations, because that would be unethical if I raise one client's fees and not the other. So it's ripping off that Band-Aid, being uncomfortable and taking the action. So, I'm just thinking about this because I'm thinking about you as you go through this process. So it's determining how much you want to raise your fee by. And there's no set structure or standard or, formula to figure that out, but you do need to be clear and state it with confidence, and know what it is that you're charging and how you're going to go about that. So if you do want to say you're raising at the beginning of the year or July 1st or whenever you want to do it, you want to give your clients a good amount of leeway, 3 to 4 weeks, and communicate that with them, that you're raising your fee for these reasons. Do they have any questions or concerns? And it's not like, and it's funny, when we have money mindset issues, we'll do things like, well, I'm going to be raising my fee to this. Is that okay for you? It's not a question of, is it okay for you if I raise my fee or not? It's more, I'm going to be raising my fee to this. I wanted to talk about if you have any concerns in regards to your ability to pay or treatment or things like that. That we can discuss, right? So it's not a discussion of if you're going to raise your fee or not, but you want to bring that up because you obviously have a clinical relationship with your current clients. You do want to make sure that they can afford it, that it's not going to interrupt your clinical process, and then to make the proper either recommendations and or accommodations. And I say accommodations because, we want you to get paid what you're worth. And right? I know for me, I had long-term clients that I did allow a lower fee for, or maybe you serve a certain population, or maybe you give back to the military, vets, or something like that. So you have to just be clear within yourself before you go about doing this, who you would make accommodations for and who you will. And sometimes, a lot of times I know that we've I feel, and again, everything's a process, right? Sometimes people have gotten stuck feeling like, okay, well, if I'm going to give this client a discounted rate, like, they might be a long-term client, or I work with trauma and I see clients for 6 months and I don't really want to give that discounted rate for that long. You don't have to. Maybe a client's going through a certain situation. I remember Kate a long time ago had an intern, I think that lost their job. So you can do a discounted rate for a set amount of time or sessions as well. So we're just offering this to you so you can think about your own process and what's going to work for you.
I just want to note that we're talking about private pay practices. So if you happen to have an insurance-based practice or a hybrid practice, you'll have to go with the rates that the insurance company has given you for the insurances that you're paneled with. Now, if you want to raise your rates with insurances that you're paneled with, that's always an option that you can explore as well. And I know many clinicians who have advocated for different rates, but that's a whole other type of conversation. This is really focused on cash-based, full fee, private pay practices. So I just wanted to make that clear for you guys as we're navigating this conversation.
This is a perfect time. Let's just take a quick moment to thank our sponsor. Feeling anxious heading into tax season? You are not alone. That's why therapists turn to Herd. Built and designed specifically for clinicians in private practice, Herd offers affordable bookkeeping services, personalized financial reporting, and tax assistance to ensure you're making the most of your business and your time. Herd saves therapists on average $5,397 on bookkeeping and taxes each year. That's amazing. And when you join Herd, you'll work directly with financial specialists to track your income and expenses, file taxes online, and grow your private practice. Sign up now at joinherd.com. That's joinherd.com. Kate, you were talking about navigating, so let's continue that conversation.
Yeah, anytime I went about raising my fees in private practice, it was because I was either looking at my numbers, and it was a very informed conversation from looking at my numbers and knowing what I needed to be making and wanted to be making in a year, and doing the numbers of being able to see, working backwards so that I could see the amount of clients I wanted to see in a week without burning out, so I could give a better quality of care for my clients and really work with the clients that I was called to serve working with. So it would come from that place of being able to understand the numbers and know what I needed to charge each client so that I could see less clients in a week, have more to give, they're getting greater results. And then also if I had accomplished additional trainings and whatnot, where I was honing in on my skill set. So anytime I would have these conversations with clients, it would be, a conversation that I would have with them in our therapeutic session. I would talk about it with them. I would also have them sign an addendum that they were notified that in a month from now, my fee was going to raise to this. That would go in their chart. And then I'd follow up with them about it if they had any questions about it, now that they've had a chance to digest the information. And honestly, I never had any clients push back and say, I can't afford to see you. I'm not going to see you because you're raising your fee. So anytime I had that conversation, luckily I was able to navigate that and it went smoothly with current clients. So that was a positive outcome. But, sometimes you might have pushback or someone can't afford the additional fee. Maybe they've lost their job recently and it's already a stretch for them anyways. So being able to come to those conversations prepared with options, I think is really important. Knowing what you're comfortable with and being able to stay true to yourself and what you need as a business owner and private practice owner to be able to take care of yourself and, not sacrifice your own needs just to be there for somebody else. So if you're raising your fee and let's say 15 of your clients on your caseload have absolutely no issue with that, and then maybe you have 2 that are saying it's really outside of their ability to be able to pay that, and these are clients that you've had for a long time, you want to continue working with them, then maybe you offer them those 2 sliding scale options for whether it's a limited period of time that you want to do that, or you offer that to them for the next few weeks until your fee is officially raised, and then help them to transition and look for another provider who's able to help them at a rate that they can afford, and it's not, stressing them out, or it's something that is more in their budget. So it's important to come prepared to those conversations, have some different ideas just in case your clients are not able to move forward and continue to work with you. And then you want to make sure that you're documenting everything.
Well said. And, as we're kind of bringing this conversation to a close, I feel grateful when I think about the work that therapists do, because when you do work on your own self and tackle these difficult conversations, these mindset issues you have, because we are in the clinical process, many times it could be a teaching and learning experience for our clients, right? So Kate and I love the word isomorphic, right? So isomorphic is basically the same thing happening in two different systems simultaneously. And, if you're working with a client, helping them value themselves and their time and boundaries and worth, like what a great conversation. If they said, oh, well, why did you decide to raise your fees? You can then emulate that for them as well. So I don't know. I think that this work that we do for ourselves and valuing ourselves and our worth, and setting our own boundaries and committing to that and not burning out, which is very easy to do as a therapist, and honoring yourself and your time and all the reasons that you really got into business in the first place, and really living your dream life, but also having your dream practice. I just love this process and talking about this from multiple perspectives. So thank you for joining us in this conversation today. Kate, any other final thoughts or words?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. And we just want to say, stay true to yourself and what you need to be able to live the life that you want. It's so important to know your numbers, to take a step back and to look at that, to make sure that you're seeing the amount of clients you want to see in a week, and that you're having the income that you need to really be fulfilled and sustainable in private practice. Because if you're burnout and you're spread too thin, you're not going to be able to help people in the way that you could best serve them. So we just want to cheer you on and being able to have these difficult conversations, and stepping outside of your comfort zone and really staying true to yourself and what you need, and being able to offer the best possible care for your clients, because your tank is full and you're passionate about what you do and living a balanced, fulfilling life.
Yeah. So Startup Nation, thanks for always allowing us to inspire you from startup to mastery. And we definitely look forward to seeing you, or, it's funny, Kate, I always say seeing, huh? We don't see you on the podcast. We don't hear you either. So you joining us, I guess, on our next podcast.
Yes. Exactly. Okay. So we look forward to you joining us next time. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on The Private Practice Startup. Visit theprivatepracticestartup.com for awesome resources, free trainings, attorney-approved private practice paperwork, and so much more.